why did you talk to the life extension guys? Is there evidence that the greater you are in these states of flow, the longer you are healthy and live and so on?
Well, no, but okay, so two answers. The first answer is this was actually what got me into flow research early on. I was very, very ill. I spent 3 years in bed with Lyme disease, and nobody knew what to do with me. They pulled me off meds. There was nothing else they could do. And inadvertently, I ended up surfing myself back to health. And while I was going surfing, I was having these outrageously wild flow states, and it was the only thing I was doing different. And when it was all said and done, and I went from like literally 10% functionality, I was literally like lucid and able to think and, use my brain and function and walk across the room 10% of the day, to like 80% functionality in about 6 months. I wanted to know what the hell was going on because it was bizarre. It didn't make any sense to me. I was a science guy, and surfing is not known as a cure for chronic autoimmune conditions. So my original quest was what the hell is going on, and what I discovered, and this is, by the way, this is Herb Benson's work at Harvard. All of the neurochemicals that show up in flow massively boost the immune system, and more importantly, I think, they reset the nervous system. They calm the nervous system back down towards zero, so they really, really, really decrease stress. So to answer your question, yes, it does appear that there are some links between flow and longevity, but they're very, 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 very kind of newly discovered, and we have no idea really what they are, and there's so much more work to be done. The reason I was talking to the life extension guys is when it comes to hormones and hormone replacement therapy and, precursors to neurochemicals and those stuff, that's their area. That's a lot of the work that some of the life extension movement has done is in there. So they kind of have that background in endocrinology, so they can have those conversations.
It's interesting. I didn't know that about you and the Lyme disease, but I know two people, one of them my wife, who was ill with Lyme disease at one point, and both of these people, including my wife, had similar experiences as you. The meds were not helping. It was going on forever. All the doctors wanted to do was keep on upping the dosage of antibiotics, which was literally killing these people. And it was only by finding their own particular, what I will call states of flow, they were able to kind of overcome the Lyme disease. So that's an interesting area to look into, because Lyme is such a weird disease. Like it pops up in your body in so many different ways.
Yeah, to me, I think flow is so critical there because Lyme, autoimmune conditions in general, it means your nervous system is going crazy, right? That's really what's going on. So resetting the nervous system, calming it down kind of violently with flow states is kind of radically positive therapy. At least in my experience, I'm always hesitant with diseases and medical advice. I never give it, and I think everybody's disease is individual and everybody's cure is individual. That was what I discovered for myself, and I think that's what most people end up discovering. It sounds like that's what your wife discovered. But, Herbert Benson at Harvard, who did this work, said, wow, it does appear that, a certain percentage of cases of quote-unquote spontaneous healing may have flow states kind of as their root cause.
Yeah, for her, there was a lot of yoga involved and acupuncture and so on, like more natural healing techniques that, again, push the body to the limits. Or maybe it's that consistent everyday 4%, trying to improve at something that really helped her and helped this other guy as well that I know of.
Well, I also think, we know from, countless studies that the happiest people on earth, the people who rate the highest for life satisfaction, are the people who have the most flow in their lives. And we know this from some of the largest psychological studies ever conducted. This is very, very, very well established. I don't know what your wife's situation was like, but after 3 years in bed, I was suicidal. I was miserable. I hadn't had a good day in 3 years. So that first day, and when I tell you that people had to carry me to the ocean to take me surfing, they had to walk me out to the break, and it was like 2-foot waves that day. But that first day, I was out there 30 seconds, wave came and muscle memory took over, and I spun my board around, and I paddled twice, and I popped up into this other dimension. But the biggest thing about the whole thing was I felt great. For the first time in 3 years, I didn't just feel okay. I felt amazing. All the pain load that I'd been carrying in my body that didn't allow me to walk was gone. Psychologically, I was clear-headed. I could think, and I was happy. that alone, just to have the memory of joy kind of come back to you, and you're like, oh yeah, it is fun here. I do want to live. That to me was a huge advantage, because if you lose sight of the reason you want to live, it's pretty hard to come back from that.
You know, that's great. So that led to ultimately you writing this book, The Rise of Superman, Decoding the Science of Ultimate Human Performance.